Oh, we are back, guys. We're so back. We've got another free bases for you. These three are a must-have, must-build, must-use, must be involved with. I need to breathe. And it starts right here with this madness. So base number 1. And this is a big one, I'm not going to lie. But it's a good one. So what makes this base so great is because of the space in here. You can have 2, 3, even 4 of you easily shoot out of one position. We've got the garage door on the bottom for when it gets a bit overcrowded. We've got the zap line, which are these bad boys. We have garage door. We have electric fence. And we have internal lighting. So the way we have this one wired up, obviously generator to battery bank, then comes to our first switch, which is this one, which then goes to this light, and then goes to that light. So that's our internal lighting. Then obviously generator to battery bank, and then battery bank to this switch. And then this switch goes to this electric fence post. Then it comes along to this one, and then to this one. So they get stuck, zapped in the line. You hit this when it gets a bit too much and they fall down. Job done. The reason why this is so effective is because you don't ever have to worry about demos. You just hit the switch, demo falls down, has to loop all the way around again. And then you can have another go at safely trying to kill it, or you just wait until the end of the Horde night, whatever you want to do. So another reason this base is so good, and this is the way to get in from the bottom, and then you go up and it takes you to the top. But this could be an all-in-one base. I mean, you could bring this slab up maybe 2 or 3 more blocks just to be completely safe, but even there it's still quite high. Nothing's going to attack up here. They can't random hit anyway, so it really doesn't even matter. But this is so much space to create a proper base. You could do multiple floors with stairs coming up and around. On each floor you could have different stuff. You could have cement mixers, forges, whatever. Like your whole proper setup could be in here. And then you just come upstairs and you've got your Horde base. And this doesn't even have to be this setup. You could do... Damn it! You could do any Horde base logic setup. You could do a thin beam with the gap and, you know, whatever you want to do. Point is, all in one base. It's been trialed. It's been tested, it all works. The design just looks so good. Anyway, link in the description for this base. On to the next. So I had to include my traditional build that I always do on every 7 days playthrough. Chunky cube, beams, gaps, blade traps, pyramid stairs of doom. This is my go-to, has to be put on the list. Now what's great about this is set up for co-op, so obviously one of you will be here, one of you will be here, you know how it works. But it doesn't have to be. If you're on your own, you can just board this up and not build all of this. So the base only operates from one way. However, with that in mind, there'll be a link in the description to show you the full build of this, and I'll explain it properly in there. But I ran a test on my own on this, and the zombies only came to wherever I stood, and I was stood here all night. Nothing came over there whatsoever. Everything tracked to here. So you can still do this if you know you are going to be playing with friends sometimes. At least you've got the option, because it's really not an issue. With that said, if you're stood here and for some reason you're taking too much of beating and you're not killing them quick enough because maybe you haven't got the firepower or whatever, and this is starting to get crunched a little bit too much, you then just come over here. And then they untrack from there and start coming here. It's like you've got 2 chances, you know? An extra life, if you will. Fire hydrant! Had to put it on the list though. Let me show you how the electrics work on this one. So we've got this little service hatch here. Again, generator battery bank to switch. I've done everything off of one switch, you don't have to, but this one switch here controls to this relay. This relay then goes down to these traps individually. You can see how the back one's actually broken from the Horde Knight, but this one's still working because they go in individually. It then also goes upstairs to this light, which powers being able to see. So that's all that side done. It also comes to this internal light and goes to that internal light. And then it also comes over to this relay and does the exact same thing we did over there. So it goes down to the 2 blade traps and it comes up to the light. Now if you're going to do this properly, you would have this switch coming over to here, dealing with them. Same switch over to there, dealing with them. Then you would have a second switch for your internal lights. And then maybe a third switch for the lights up on top. But I just figured the only time you use a Horde base is during a Horde night, right? Which is at night time. So I just figured, you know, you're going to want the lights on anyway if you're in here. There's not really a situation where you're not using the blade traps and the lights together. You're only in here of a night time. But, you know, you can do it however you want. We've got the roof built this way so we can take out any naughty vultures. But other than that, that's about it for this space. This hasn't been repaired since the Horde night, so I did an entire Horde night on my own. This got broken only because I accidentally, I think I shot one of them bloater cops and it exploded and destroyed this. I think that's what happened. Don't quote me on that, guys. And we had 2 blocks break and almost a third. And this is just a solid slab up to this point here. So this was never a problem. Never even close to being a problem. Anyway, link in the description, on to the last one. We are here at the last base, and oh boy, this is just broken. This base is just... I just don't know how you can ever die with this setup. So it's just like our traditional ones with the gap. We had the trap just for a bit of banter, and then we got this beam. But we got this little lovely little zap line running through here. So anything, it doesn't get zapped here for some reason, which is a bit annoying. But anyway, when they land on these beams here, the second they get to here, they're just zapped. Some of them push past a little bit and maybe get about halfway, but link in the description for this build, and you'll see in the Horde night that nothing gets close to me. The only time something can get close to me is when I turn it off, because I'm bored of just how easy it is. But to get this going, you want to make sure that the electric fence post is upside down. That keeps it. You don't have to do this, obviously. You can just have it upright and it'll be higher. If it's higher, dogs and crawlers will go underneath it. So I figured, well, let's do it nice and low. And then nothing can get past. Absolutely nothing. And then it comes to another one in here, which is also upside down, as you can see here. And that's encaged in very solid blocks, so it's nice and safe. Looks like a spaceship. Let me show you how the electrics work on this one. This is the first time seeing this base since I built it months ago, so I do need to refresh my memory. We've got, again, generator battery bank to this power. Let's just turn this on. So, okay, this one does internal lights, which is there and there. Let me do battery bank again, over to these 2 switches individually. One of them... Okay, so this one here is blade trap. This one here is the electric fence posts. Now, this has to go that end first, because it's always, as we discussed in the first base build, it's the last post that gets damaged. So you want that one here so you can repair it. You just quite literally stand here, repair this post. If you come to this post first and then go to that end one, you've got no way of obviously repairing it. But this can't reach all the way over there. It's far too far. So this comes up to a little couple of relays. Comes up to this relay. You could use the same relay, I guess. I don't know why I've done 2, but whatever. It comes up to this relay and then goes, damn it, go away. And then goes over to this in here, which is also upside down. To keep this line nice and low. I think we should spawn in a zombie quick, just so I can show you this one running. There we go. And straight onto the post. Damn it. and straight onto the line. And they can't go anywhere, literally. It's madness. I also want to point out that in the actual base build, I'm fairly certain that I also had another one of these traps just here, because this is where they kept stopping. And then when they're all running up, they're obviously all in the way, so they're just dropping down at this point constantly. And the reason that this broke was because it was so active and being used so much, which is a good thing, because that's what it's there for. I just couldn't repair it, obviously, because it was all the way out here. But I did have another trap just here. So they run up, they get caught here, they can't go anywhere. There's like 3 or 4 of them here. More try to jump on, then they just drop off the side and they fell through the trap. Worked really well. So well that it got destroyed. And that will do it for this video. If you liked any of the base builds, or if you're using any of them, please let us know in the comments. Like and subscribe. And I shall put out more base builds, just like this one in the background, with some madness. I would like your suggestions though. Any ideas on any bases that I've not covered that you think are really good, I'd love to put them on the channel. Throw them together in creative, see how they work on Horde night. I'm always looking for new ideas. So, until the next one, guys.